Hello, and welcome to the first podcast episode. Today, we are exploring the concept of family related care. Family related care explores the benefits of the patient and the family unit when family is involved in care, and this has been seen to improve patient outcomes. More specifically, I wanted to explore how we can go about involving family in meaningful interventions because I was finding as a new grad, I was giving into that nursing culture of family being a little bit of an irritation. But when family they're asking questions or they have concerns, they aren't trying to make our jobs more difficult. They're just trying to gain a level of understanding um, of loved ones' care, and they're trying to just regain a sense of control over the situation. I still struggle to find ways to involve family in care, so I'm using this as an opportunity to implement new tidbits into my own practice. So, the article I have linked by Elaine McCarty outlines that when family centered care was implemented in this study, it was through a child disability service. There were drastic increases in patient satisfaction scores. I have a study here as well by Shun et al., and it supports the same findings as well as showing that family centered care supports patient outcomes as well. And this demographic was looking at patients with chronic dysphagia. There are many other studies that corroborate these findings, so now that we have that foundation of understanding that family centered care is integral to patient health, we can explore how we can implement this in our own practice. So, what I found during this research period was that it was much easier to integrate family in care than I previously believed. And some of those examples can include things at an organizational level. So, having those less stringent visitation policies that makes it easier for patients to have visitors when it may be less convenient for them. So, for example, a patient's partner may work late into the evening and may otherwise have to sacrifice time to sleep to come visit loved ones within those outlined visiting hours. At an individual level, though, we can involve family in education, as they will likely be the ones caring for their loved ones after they're discharged. We can involve them in education through teach back method of important skills. Opening a dialogue with the family about their needs or concerns is another good way to build that rapport and involve the family. So, by encouraging a space for them to express their feelings, um, it can allow us to provide education or support, which can improve the overall hospitalization experience for them, making the time after discharge potentially feel a little bit more manageable. Relational inquiry shapes my understanding of this topic because it is greatly impacted by context outside of the patient, including their relationships with others. Relationships with family are often very important, complex, and deeply layered for our patients. Relational inquiry asks us to look beyond the patient in front of us and consider what other aspects may be in play in regard to the patient's health. So, this can also include who the patient's support system consists of, their socioeconomic status, and dynamics among the family, which are all integral to the patient's health and well being. When I graduate and select a specialty, I would love to further research this topic and see what types of intervention I can apply that are specific to that specialty. But for now, it will be very important to practice those foundational pieces like open communication and education when interacting with family in practice. I believe this semester has greatly improved my communication skills, especially my mental health placement, and I hope I encounter further opportunities to expand on this skill, as I believe it will result in improved patient satisfaction and outcomes regardless of where I'm working. Thank you so much for listening.